You want to know when we as men truly know what our intention is with you? The answer might shock you. It might surprise you. And it's this. We know the first 5 minutes. We know the first time following intimacy. And we know roughly within about 2 years of the relationship what our true intention is with you. But here's the thing, ladies. I'm going to talk to you like Uncle Shaun. Yep. I'm going to talk to you like your daddy didn't. And it's this. The first 5 minutes. Here's the facts, no cap. We know within the first 5 minutes if our motivation is to play with you or if it's for you to be our purpose partner. We know that. First 5 minutes. Yep. We know what our intention is. First 5 minutes. We know what our intent is. Fact of it is, what does that mean? Ladies, any man who's half of a man knows that the easiest way to a woman is by the things you say. So what that means is what you be wise to pay attention to, sis, is not what he's saying, but what are his actions demonstrating? Why? Because pursuit determines desire. A man's job should be to qualify you to see if you are a fit for who he is and what he about. Thereafter, his intent should be very clear and direct of applying pressure that you're the kind of woman I want to build with. I'm trying to determine if I were a woman, would I want to be like you? And sis, what you need to be determining in the early stages is if I were a man, would I want to be just like you? Not by what he tell you, but what do his actions say? What are his actions? How does he live life? Is he making an honest living? Because if he ain't, he need to be eliminated immediately. What's his purpose? Does he know his purpose? Even ahead of that, does he know God? Who is God to him? Are we aligned in that regard? If he got kids, do you know who all of his kids are? Is he protecting them, providing them, raising them? Is he a deadbeat? Do he got kids that he don't even know about or kids that you don't even know about? All of those things would demonstrate if his goal is to play with you or to make you a purpose partner. First 5 minutes. It's all it takes. Ladies, it's your responsibility to evaluate, is he the man he says he is? Am I saying he needs to be perfect? No. If he come into you even with the most difficult stances, look, this is my situation. This is the good, the bad, the ugly. You would be wise to respect that and to labor through that to determine the real from the fake. What's the second time we as men know exactly what our intentions are for you? The first time we're intimate. Let me say this for full disclosure. Yeah, I'm a man of God, but I ain't perfect. And the reality of it is while all of us, male, female, young, and old, should aspire to be virgins until the day we're married. Why? Because that's God's highest and best way. Respectfully, that ain't my testimony. And so while that is God's highest and best, and that is the way that is most effective, that's just not my circumstance. And so ultimately, as it pertains to the first time being intimate, it's called post S3X clarity. Men, you know what I'm talking about, which is immediately after the first time of being intimate, we as men know what we truly feel in our heart of hearts as it pertains to you as a woman. We're not trying to figure that out. We locate that in the moment. And what is going to happen is either he is going to exponentially in that moment grow a measure of love, or he's going to know truly in his heart of hearts that he really doesn't love the totality of who you are. But here's the thing, ladies. He will never tell you, but his actions will show thereafter. Ladies, you are woman enough to know what the real from the fake, if you really ask yourself, looks like in that circumstance, because it is something that almost a man knows exclusively and solely that can best be measured by his actions thereafter. If his actions thereafter is mentally, emotionally, you noticing a major shift, not in a good way. If you're noticing that you're seeing early signs of detachment, or if you're seeing early signs of that he's getting distracted, that answers and locates exactly what his intimate S3X clarity was in that moment. Not by what he says, but what his actions are. Let's move on to the third thing. How will you know, or how can you locate what a man's real intent is? Roughly within about 2 to 3 years following the committed relationship journey. Why? Because what a man would be wise to understand, knowing that the in love feeling can only scientifically last 2 years, is we at that point know if we are compatible and if we are capable to journey in this thing called life and purpose together. We know. So what does that mean, ladies? If you in a relationship 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, his actions align with what his truth is, which is, for whatever reason, I said it before and I'm going to say it again, we as men will only change for one woman in our lifetime. He knows through his action what his intention was the first 5 minutes, how he really felt post S3X clarity, and ultimately once the in-love phase wore off, he already knew if you were a purpose partner or not. So the reality of it is, it would be wise and of your best value, not based on what he says, but on his actions, to accept what the truth is. Because yet again, we change for one woman and one woman only. What that means, what we've arrived at, ladies, is to locate our true intention for you. We know relatively quickly, within the first 5 minutes, following the first S3X intimacy act, and within the first 2 to 3 years of the relationship, what our real feeling and our real intention is. What that means is we would all be wise as to not create unnecessary hurt, harm, or conflict, to accept the truth for what it is, and to move on and move forward. Why? Because time is the only non-renewable resource. And yet the clarity that we men know, the clarity of which women seek, is something that only a man truly knows. Therefore, sis, you gotta believe him. Not by what he says, but what his actions are. As always, I'm Shaun J. Ford, real estate developer and author, also affectionately known as Uncle Shaun, wanting to help whether you're a man or a woman who has been called to real estate. I want to educate you. I want to equip you. I want to expose you to high net worth individuals, family offices, private equity, hedge fund, assuming you're called to do small or large scale real estate. Because what we know is through the community of Developer Nation and the group economics we create, that we will generate wealth for our children's children, but yet that best happens through alignment by taking a holistic approach to both our personal life and our professional life when you've been called to real estate. As always, like, comment, subscribe, follow. I'll see you in the next episode, but I want to remind you that all things, whether it be good or bad, work together for your good for those who love God and are called according to his purpose. I'll see you soon.